Hi everybody, welcome back to Sunshine Soap and Candle Company. A few weeks ago I shared with you how to make a foaming soap, a foaming liquid hand soap made from scratch using the paste method. The paste method is a hot process actual soap making method, and what you do is you make a soap paste out of fats, oils, and potassium hydroxide, and then you use the paste to make other things like liquid soap, foaming hand soap, and today I'm going to be building upon that, and I'm going to be sharing with you how to make a foaming and whipped sugar scrub using the paste that we created in the video a few weeks ago. If you haven't had a chance to take a look at the foaming hand soap video, after you watch this video, I encourage you to go back and watch that so you can see how to create this gorgeous golden soap paste that's made out of wonderful ingredients. In this video today, I'm going to be going over my full visual process and tutorial of how to put together this beautiful foaming and whipped sugar scrub. If you would like the full written recipe plus a full written detailed step-by-step tutorial, please head on over to my Patreon campaign. You'll be able to unlock this formula at the $5 level. There's so much to take advantage of over there. I'll go ahead and place the link to my campaign in the description box below. Upon sign up to my campaign, you'll gain immediate access to not only the formula that we're going to be working on today, but also hundreds of formulas and tutorials all in the hair care, skin care, candle making, and soap making areas. My campaign is a little over 5 years old now. I never take down any tutorials that I publish, so there is so much just at your fingertips available to you. Resources, it's a great way to connect with me and other makers, and I'm a crowdfunded content creator, so your support means the world to me and allows me to continue to do what I do best, which is share my recipes and tutorials with you weekly. I hope you'll check it out and see what thousands of other makers have really come to love about my campaign. All right, let's get started. All right, we're going to start off by weighing this beautiful soap paste. This is made out of coconut oil, castor oil, sweet almond oil, sunflower oil, and also cocoa butter. It's a beautiful hydrating, moisturizing, and emollient formula. So this is a really great paste to use as a base for other things like what we're making today. So we're going to start off by just weighing out our soap paste into this bowl. I'm putting it into chunks because it does tend to melt down easier. We're going to be melting it down as it's in smaller chunks or when you break it up. I'm just pulling it apart here. The paste itself is very sticky and concentrated. We're going to be putting this into a crock pot. I have done this double boiler method, and I find it, if you're making more than, 100 grams or a little bit bigger of a recipe like I'm making today, it's a bit easier to use a crock pot because, truth be told, this process here, this part takes a little bit longer on the stove double boiler method than it does in the crock pot. It's just kind of a lengthy process, this part, but the end result is really great. So we're just starting off by weighing out the soap paste. This is another great way. Again, we're just building upon the formula that I shared with you a few weeks ago where we made the foaming hand soap out of the same soap paste. So here we go. We're just going to add in some more here. And I usually store these bags of soap paste in my fridge. I just write which formula I'm using down on the bag with the date and store it in the fridge, and your soap paste can last indefinitely in your fridge. So if you make a big batch of soap paste, it'll be there and waiting and ready for you, which is one of the great benefits of making a formula like this. Among other benefits, soap paste is all natural. So this will be a more natural formula, which some people very much prefer that. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is just go ahead and transfer my soap paste into my crock pot to begin the melting process. My crock pot is turned on right now to high. So I've just put it over there. Then I'm going to go ahead and weigh off the water for this formula. We're going to be using distilled water. Okay. We're going to go ahead and place the water right in here with the soap paste and start to get that melted down. We're also going to be adding in some stearic acid and also some ceytl alcohol. Now, the stearic acid is going to add some lovely conditioning properties to this formula so that it feels nice and moisturizing on your skin. And the stearic acid is also going to add some silkiness to the formula. It's giving it a really nice skin feel. Also, the stearic acid and the ceytl alcohol help this formula to whip up. So when you want it to increase in volume, these two things I find in combination work really well when you're trying to whip something. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I have a love-hate relationship with whipped products. If you live in a hot environment or somewhere that gets hot like me in Northern California, whipped products can be very challenging to work with. Okay, we're going to start off with the ceytl alcohol. Then we're going to be adding in some stearic acid. All right, we're going to go ahead and transfer this also into the crock pot. Transferring this now into the crock pot. It would make it a little quicker also if you preheated your distilled water before adding it in. I did not do that in this case. It just takes a little bit more time if you add in cold water like I did, but if you add in hot water, it'll melt down a little faster. So we're just going to allow the stearic acid, ceytl alcohol, water, and soap paste to completely melt down in here. And then I'll bring you back when everything is melted and we're ready for the next step. All right, this has been melting down for quite some time now, and as you can see, I have a combination here of melted down stearic acid, ceytl alcohol, and then the last to melt down is always that soap paste. It just takes a long time to melt down. It's already starting to look a little bit like another paste, like a more white paste versus a golden paste. And so at this point in time, I like to take, this is optional, you could just allow it to continue to melt, but I like to take my mixer at this point and start trying to break up that paste just to kind of get things moving a little quicker. So we're just going to go ahead and turn this on. I'm just kind of breaking up the paste a little bit with my mixer. All right, and as you can see, it's still not completely melted, but the paste was soft enough that it did break up into even smaller chunks here. So we're going to allow this to continue to melt down until it's all homogeneous and we don't see any more of that chunky golden soap paste. So I'll bring you back when it's all melted down. All right, so all of that soap paste is now melted down and incorporated in, and as you can see, it just kind of now looks like a little bit of a white whipped mashed potato type of consistency. So this is what you're going for. It does take a while for that soap paste to melt down. I do recommend adding like boiling hot water almost to the soap paste, not adding it in cold. That way it will go a little bit faster and soften up that soap paste quicker. But again, don't be afraid to use that hand mixer, the electric mixer I mean, and just go ahead and manipulate it a bit and help break up that soap paste if it's taking a while. So what I'm going to do is go ahead now and transfer it into this bowl, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, so I have my formula now sitting on the scale again, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and weigh off some glycerin. Now my formula is sitting right around 110 degrees at the moment, 112. So we're going to go ahead and add in everything else we need except the sugar at this point. We want it to get a little bit cooler in temperature before we whip and add in sugar. So you can whip it like this, but it's going to take a long time. So I wait for it to cool down before I whip and add sugar. So now we're going to go ahead and add in some glycerin. Then I'm going to go ahead and add in some fragrance. I'm using Camellia Sugar by Brambleberry. This is one of my new favorite fragrances. It's super kind of like light and sweet and floral, and it just smells really gorgeous. I could actually see myself using this also as a fall fragrance. I know it's untraditionally a fall fragrance. I don't think this is considered a fall fragrance, but just that spun sugar top note is really, really gorgeous. So I am really liking this fragrance oil. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and add in our preservative. So we are using optiphen preservative today. Okay. And that is it for the ingredients before we add sugar. So what I'm going to do is take my hand mixer again and just mix this up until everything's homogeneous. See, it's already trying to take on a little bit of a whipped texture just from that little bit of mixing there. So what I'm going to do is just hand stir this and then allow it to come down to room temperature. You can totally pop this in the fridge or the freezer or put it on an ice bath to bring it down the temperature a little quicker. And then we'll be back to whip this. Hopefully, I'm hoping to whip it up maybe a little bit less than double in size, and I'll discuss all that with you when we come back. All right, so my formula has now reached room temperature, which is about 76 degrees Fahrenheit in my house, and this is what it currently looks like when it hits room temperature. It thickens up a little bit and kind of reminds me of like taffy, saltwater taffy a little bit, except not as sticky, but just in that stretch. So that's what it's going to look like. Then we're going to go ahead and whip some air into this formula, and that could take a little bit of time, but typically I find this formula, depending on your batch size, whips up pretty quickly. So we're going to go ahead and place this electric mixer on high and go ahead and whip some air into it. As you can see, with just that little bit of mixing, we are already getting stiff kind of peaks in here. So I'm going to continue to mix this on high until I grow this formula, hopefully close to a little bit under double in size, and then I'll bring you back. All right, we've been whipping for several minutes now, and as you can see, it has come up in volume quite a bit. Whipping is kind of a love-hate thing for me, and if you don't know, there's a couple reasons here why I sometimes have issues with whipped products. First of all, they deflate in warm weather. So in my area, I cannot make them and sell them in the hot months, which right now it is August 1st. So these are going to remain in my house until the weather kind of cools down. But that's one thing I don't like about whipped products. Also, if you whip them too big, meaning you put too much air into this product, then you risk your product deflating. And there's nothing more frustrating than making this beautiful whipped product, and then, you know, the next day after you've packaged everything up, come out to see that everything has deflated. And that just is a really frustrating feeling for me. So I like to whip my products a little less than double in size, and then that way I'm not whipping too much air into it, and hopefully they stay a little bit more substantial. All right, we're gonna go ahead and add in a little color here. I'm using Garnet Mica. This is from TKB. It's a beautiful, just kind of a nice pink color. I'm adding in a heaping teaspoon. I'll probably add a little bit more than that. And then we're gonna go ahead and start slowly incorporating the sugar and the mica colorant. Okay, as you can see now, the formula has grown quite a bit with the addition of the sugar. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a stir by hand here, and then we're gonna get ready to go ahead and pipe it into our PET containers. This would have been a lot easier in a KitchenAid mixer, but I wanted to show you that it can be done with an electric mixer. It just takes a little bit more elbow grease and a little bit more patience, but as you can see, it is now all incorporated. So I'm going to go ahead and put this into a piping bag and we'll be right back. All right, we're ready to go ahead and pipe. I've just put it in this large disposable piping bag. I've just cut the tip off of the bag because it's such a thick product. It's much easier to pipe it in without a tip on it. So you just go ahead and start working around the outer edges. And in the middle. You could scoop this product into your containers. That's a little less time consuming. However, that being said, it is a bit more messy, meaning you'll have to clean off the edges of your container because the sugar and stuff likes to get on the outside. So there's that. As you see, it's a nice and substantial formula. And you know, one of the nice things about a formula using the soap paste is that you can make a big batch of soap paste, and then whenever you're ready to make a batch of whipped sugar scrub, you're ready to go. Now, this is also a very cost-effective way to make a great product with lots of great ingredients in it. And also, the label appeal here too is that it is a more natural product than maybe some of the detergent. I have no problem with the detergent-based bases. You guys know I absolutely love the whipped soap base that I always use every year from Stevenson's. I've shown you a lot of tutorials with that one. In fact, I still have a bit of that to use up. I love that base, and it's not a natural product. It's not made out of actual soap like this is. You know, but some people like to keep things more natural or on the all natural side. So this is a good option for people that want a more natural product. It's very inexpensive to make, and it has lovely ingredients. All right, I've switched piping bags here. I just really couldn't be bothered to fill up that plastic one again. It was really sticking inside the insides of that bag. I don't like those other piping bags that I was just using. They're not great. I'm trying to get through the pack that I bought though. All right, so we're just gonna continue. This is a reusable one. And I think it's a Tico. I got it from a local food supply store by me. But anyway, it's much easier to pipe with this one. It's easier to twist the bag down and everything. As you can see, I started out with about 100-ounce batch. And we're probably going to be able to fill up more than 10 of these containers. In fact, I know we are because of the way that it doubled in size. All right, here they all are. I did end up getting 15 full containers of whipped sugar scrub. It's looking so cute. So I'll be right back to show you how this works. All right, I'm just gonna demonstrate one from my own personal batch here. And just so you know right off the bat, this is not gonna give you a big foam. It's not gonna give you a big lather, bubbly, foamy lather like some of the detergent-based whipped soaps can give you. The Stevenson's one in particular has a really, really nice lather, probably the best lather that I found in a base. This is gonna give you more of a low, creamy, moisturizing lather with an exfoliant. So it's best, I find, if your skin is already a little bit wet before you apply. And I'm just really loving this. So you're gonna scoop a fair amount into your hand. See that? It's pretty substantial, even though it's got still that nice whipped texture. And then you're just gonna go ahead and circulate it slowly onto your skin. And right away you can see it's just such a lovely, low foaming, cleansing, yet also exfoliating and conditioning at the same time. It smells super good, and I find with this base also that the fragrance kind of lingers on your skin a little bit longer than other whipped soaps. And then I'm going to show you if I can activate the lather a little bit more with a little bit more water. Yeah, so see, you get some bubbles in there, but they're very low foaming. But yeah, when you add a little bit of water in there, you do get a little bit more of a lather. So it's cleansing and also hydrating. All right, everybody, that is how you make a beautiful whipped soap from a soap paste. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up. Please remember to leave me some comments and questions. That really means a lot to me. Share this video with a friend, and why not subscribe to my channel? All right, everybody, catch you on the next video. Keep shining. Bye.